Were you let go or pushed out? Or were you just made so miserable that you left? Somewhere down deep you wondered, was it me? And let's be honest, it wasn't your performance, it was your mirror. I'm Dr. Ashley Chance Fox, founder and creator of Overcoming the Beasty Boss, and I'm your women's confidence coach. Let's get into it. Toxic leaders don't fear bad employees. They fear the good ones. Because good employees expose the gaps. They ask the hard questions. They go above and beyond. They have standards. They work hard. They remember how things used to be done and can see past what's happening now and can see what can be done. And all of those things combined makes a poor leader visible. And a poor leader is threatened. Their power is threatened by questioning, by pointing out things that were or can be, because you are exposing their weakness. And how it may show up for you, and what I've heard from my clients, is that sometimes you get documentation or reprimands. Sometimes you are excluded from meetings that you used to be in or even lead. Your ideas, your brainstorming, your opinions stop being heard. Your contributions stop being acknowledged. That environment becomes so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable that you feel like your only choice is to start looking elsewhere, to start thinking about leaving, to start brushing up that resume. So then once you're out of their hair, they then go on to the next person who is competent, who does their job, who works hard, right? And maybe this comes up as you question yourself. Maybe you think if you worked harder that it would fix it, that if you were more pleasant, or if you knew the right people, or you bent over backwards trying to prove your worth, or on the flip side, you shrunk yourself hoping that they would just leave you alone. If they would just leave me alone, then I can just stay here and things would be okay. Many times, and I've heard this from my clients, that none of that worked because it was never about your performance or lack of your performance. Because the harder you work, the more visible their inadequacy became. Right? Because the harder you work, the more you know, the more you do, the more you understand the system and the systems, and they can't deny that. So their inadequacy becomes more visible. Again, you were never the problem. You were never the problem. It was them, right? So if you are thinking, or if you're in this sort of track, or maybe you have already left, I want us to start thinking about some reframes here. Or maybe you just left someplace, right? Being driven out by a toxic leader is not a resume stain. Okay, even if you just started that position a couple of years ago and now you're already like, I can't do this anymore, it's actually a badge of competence. And I want you to think competence and confidence, right? The best, the brightest, the most capable are always the first targets under a weak and toxic leader. Okay. Mediocre employees, they sort of fly under that radar. You did not fly under that radar because you couldn't be ignored. You didn't want to be ignored because you know your stuff. That is not a weakness. That is a threat for them, not you. I understand being in that position sucks. It truly sucks, right? But they didn't push you out because you failed. They pushed you out because you succeeded. You succeeded in making them look exactly what and who they are as a leader, right? Your competence, your standards, your excellence acted as a mirror that reflected back their inadequacy. A truly capable person is in this room, and that insecure leader cannot hide how little they actually bring to the table when you are there. You're calling it out. Your work, your knowledge, your presence. Right? So at the beginning, when I said it was your mirror, you didn't get pushed out because of anything you did wrong. You got pushed out because your very existence in that workplace held up a mirror to their poor leadership, and they could not stand what they saw in it. So let's name it correctly, right? It's not a performance issue. It's not a performance issue. And I want you to look back. Maybe you're in the middle of it. Maybe you're at the end of it and you're already looking. Maybe you have just left. You got a new boss. But when you're processing where you are in your plan, your journey, document your wins. I've talked about this before. Document those wins, whether that's with a coworker or a management or anybody. Document the wins, your contributions, your receipts that you are a good, hard-working worker, right? I've said this before. If you've watched my videos, find people who see your competence clearly. The people that are around you, your cheerleaders, your people, your inner circle are so detrimental to your mental health, to getting up every day excited about your job. Those people who see your competence clearly are so important to have. Bring those to the table. Find those people. And know that the next workplace that you walk into gets the full version of you, not the diminished one that you had to downplay or you had to create to survive. That's not fair to the new workplace, right? So when you go to a new workplace, it's not fair if you're still thinking about that boss. Understand the experience. Absolutely. That happened. You learned from it. You gained experience from it. Maybe your spidey senses perk up the next time something like that happens. And also leave it there. Take those experiences, take what you learn, but know that this boss that you're going to is not the same one that you had. Right? If this is something that really hits home for you and you haven't grabbed my Confidence Boost workbook, it's going to be linked down below. Please do that. I also have a group membership on Thursday nights called Embracing Me Circle. And basically it's bringing our confidence back up to help us navigate the workplace, relationships, just life in general. The link is also down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And remember, you were not driven out because you failed. You were driven out because you refused to pretend that they were succeeding. And you got this. I know you do. See you next week.